Hi guys, welcome back to the Astrology. I am a little late, but we are back with a monthly reading. We are going to be talking about Pisces rising, moon sign, ascendant, howsoever you want to see this video. Now, in this video, if you are watching from a Pisces rising or ascendant perspective, you have to understand that this is more of the physical manifestations that are going to come into play, the physical significances, realizations that you're going to see in life. Whilst from a moon sign perspective, you are going to sense more of an emotional and mindset perspective shift. So, without further ado, folks, let's deep dive into the chart and figure out what are the planetary positions going to be indicating for you during the course of this month. So, guys, as you can see on your screen here, for Pisces ascendant as well as for Pisces moon, this is going to be an interesting month because now you have several planets that are to be accommodating your first house itself. At the start of the month itself, what you will notice is that you have the conjunction of Rahu and Venus. Both of them, of course, are in retrograde motion in your first house. Now, Mercury happens to be getting retrograded from 14th of the month. Now, if you are watching this video as a Pisces moon, it is important for you to know that you are going to be entering your second phase of Sadesati in this month itself. And if you're interested for me to make a separate video on Sadesati, I would need you to please put a comment right now and tell Dave make a video about Saturn transit. Now, as we go ahead and look into the chart, we realize that Sun is going to be in conjunction with your Saturn in the 12th house itself. It is in itself a Raj Yoga as well as a very disruptive energy. So, somehow or the other, you are going to feel, you are going to sense a level of challenge. If you're watching from a moon perspective, on the ascent perspective, you will realize that this is going to be an expense of some sort, some kind of major responsibility, known, unknown obstacles, challenges that keep bothering you. They are going to continue to hassle because, see, Mercury has already transited into its sign of debilitation in your Lagna, in your first house itself, but Sun is still forming that conjunction with Saturn, will be combusted as well at this point in time. Now, as this is happening, you will realize that somewhere or the other, this Saturn, which is the lord of your 11th house and 12th house, being placed in the 12th itself, it is going to deliver diminished results with respect to the gains that you've been anticipating, folks. But fear not. This doesn't mean that things are not going to transform for you. They will. It's just a matter of time. There is a lot of turbulence happening in the skies right now with the movement of Saturn also coming into the Lagna later in the month. But we've shown that into the 12th house itself. You have to understand here as well that until there is this close conjunction of Sun and Saturn, you will find that combustion. Thereby, it is going to result into some losses that are unanticipated, but they will not be humongous in size. However, uneasiness, pain, lethargy, tiredness, confusion, all of that is going to be abound, and you might feel the heat from all those perspectives. Now, when we find the movement of Sun coming into your ascendant, into your Lagna itself, then you will find some relief with confidence blooming again back for you, and that is going to be from the middle of the month. So second half of the month, from 14th of March onwards, you are going to find some unexpected situation where you are going to find regain of your confidence. Remember, Sun is the lord of your sixth house. A lot of you might feel that sixth house lord means it's all about obstacles, problems, challenges, but you have to also understand it denotes your pets, it denotes your loans, litigations, and more important, your job, your daily regimen. Somewhere or the other, you've lost track of what is happening on a day-to-day basis. You might be facing a lot of challenges at your workplace as well, my Pisces friends. And I would want to give this message that you have to remain calm. Once sun comes into the first house, it is its natural sign of exaltation. And that is going to be a great thing for you folks, because though it is an eighth movement of your sixth house into the first house, yet it is going to result a lot of easing up of situations at your work front itself. You are going to find some sort of relief, some sort of confidence coming in your way. At the same time, you have to remember that challenges will be there. You will have to still slog hard. You will have to continue to push forward, because whilst you will have the confidence, you will be facing known, unknown challenges. You will be facing obstacles that will be coming your way at your workplace. Sun is your soul karaka as well. Somewhere it also ignite a self belief, because he is going to be coming into a sign of Pisces, which is friendly, and Jupiter is sitting in the third house from there. So you are going to find yourself comfortable in with the movement of Sun into the sign of Pisces, where it is getting conjunct with already present Venus, which is in its exaltation, Rahu and Mercury. Now, as we go ahead and talk about that conjunction, I want you to shift 14 days back and start the month itself. Realize Venus is in retrogression from day one. However, Mercury is currently direct from March 1st onwards, and it will become retrograde once Sun is forming the conjunction on 14th or on or from 14th of March. Now, debilitated Mercury is definitely getting its niche bang, and you will realize that its aspect to the seventh house is extraordinary. From the challenges that you've been facing with Ketu's placement into the seventh house, it is definitely going to help you with respect to your business relationships, partnerships, collaborations that you've been trying to frame over a period of time. You are going to find success from all those areas. Yes, you have to draw a bit of caution when it comes to your relationships. Personal relationships is what I'm referring to here, because business relationships, which are driven by Mercury, are getting an exalted aspect. However, the personal relationship aspect is getting a debilitated aspect from Venus, though Mercury is going to add some bit of charm with its aspect and the niche one that he is getting. That essentially tells us that you are going to have a mixed situation. You will try your level best to improve on your communication, on your delivery, in the way you are going to articulate your message. But there could still be certain challenges from a seventh house relationships perspective. And given that there are so many planets in your first house, guys, it is important for you to have some sort of control over your emotions, over your thought process. Remember, this Mercury is the lord of your fourth house and your seventh house. So this Mercury is going to bring some level of lethargy as well. Like, you would not feel like doing things. There is so much confusion happening all around you, but it is okay. You still have the strength to overcome these problems too once Sun becomes conjunct with all these planets. Now, Rahu and Venus, they are forming a very strong conjunction, both of them retrograded. It's not idealistic with respect to relationships. You would have to be watchful in terms of how you control, how you take charge of your character. Sun is going to support you once he comes into the ascendant. But until then, it is going to be very important for you to understand that you must be pious in terms of your dealings. Now, that is not just related to your relationships, but also from a business partnerships perspective. It is important that you are not just thinking about your own gains, but keeping things in parity for you and your partners. Now, Rahu, in conjunction with this Venus and now with Mercury, he's friends with both of them, is going to bring in some significant amount of expansion. It is going to bring some level of growth there. So the ideas will be definitely wild and big in your head. You would want to achieve something big. And that is what has been happening for the last few months with Rahu's presence here. But at the fag end of this month, you will realize that Saturn also enters the gameplay. And that is where things will get tricky. If you would want me to prepare a specific video about the transit of Saturn, please drop in your comments so that I can share some thoughts on that perspective too. Now, as you see, your Lagna Lord, which is Jupiter, he is placed in your third house itself, and he's forming an exchange with Venus. Venus's presence into the Lagna, being the Lord of your eighth house and your second house into the, is pretty interesting. It is bringing interest for you to deep down into some kind of research topics, but there is a definitive delay. Things are not moving as fast as you would have anticipated. It is because of the retrogression of Venus. Jupiter's presence in this exchange, your young lord being in the third house, tells us that it is going to bring in some extraordinary amount of push from your side as well. But Jupiter is never comfortable in the third house, so it is not an easy position for Jupiter to be as well. Jupiter's aspect, though, to your seventh house, ninth house, and 11th house is extremely crucial. All the aspects that you are getting in your seventh house, they are going to really push some or the other agenda in that area. And that is where I would want you to be extremely careful. You have to understand that you tread softly when it comes to your personal relationships, but even from a business relationships, choose the right sort of words, choose the right way to articulate your thought process and communicate it to your partners. Jupiter is going to provide you that access. He's going to provide you that support to enable things in that direction. Jupiter is also giving an aspect to your ninth house, some sort of a travel, that too in a spiritual place, some sort of an alignment from your business boss's perspective, your superiors, people at your workplace is definitely on a positive side. Even though people are conspiring things, you've been facing so many challenges with that conjunction of Sun and Saturn in your 12th house. It's the aspect of Jupiter which is going to keep things in control. However, you would definitely be feeling diminished results, not just because of Saturn. Jupiter is also giving a debilitated aspect to your 11th house. It's okay, guys. The aspect of Jupiter is still going to be helpful because it's the ninth aspect, and he is going to continue to help you push to accomplish and close things that haven't been working out in the way you would have desired or anticipated. Now, in the second half of the month, coming back as we see that Mercury is going to become retrograded. So you are going to have three retrograded planets in your ascendant itself. And retrograde planets bring a lot of drag. They bring a lot of super energized energy as well, which means that your emotions, your mental peace, your assets will see some sort of a change. Now, it can be turbulence or it could be positive depending on the placement of these planets in your natal chart as well as the kind of antardasha that you are going through. So you'll have to understand from that construct as well, because guys, I keep repeating, transit will give you at best 10, 20, 30% of an impact, but it's your natal chart which is going to determine what you're going to be going through the course of the month. Important thing to note is that Sun will become conjunct with these three planets as well. And there will be definitively a lot of confidence, lot of self belief that you would have. You will be ambitious during this time frame. You would be targeting something big, but you will have to be a bit careful as well, because Mars, which is the lord of your ninth house, as well as your second house, is currently placed in your fourth, from where it is giving an aspect on that Ketu, and he is also aspecting your seventh. Guys, there is so much action happening from your personal relationships perspective as well as your business relationships perspective. I cannot emphasize, but you have to continue to rule your emotions properly, especially if you're looking this from a moon chart perspective. It is going to be extremely turbulent on your emotions now that you have so many planets putting their significant amount of energy around your Lagna as well as your fourth house. But Mars' presence here has been crucial for you because it is giving a good exalted aspect to your 11th house and a strong aspect to your 10th house as well. There is no doubt that you are going to find some or the other sort of gains. You are going to continue to push forward with respect to your efforts in the next 30 days as well. And that is extremely important because the harder that you're going to be working, you're going to realize fortune, your destiny is going to be favoring you as well. Yes, there could be minor bit of nudges that might come from your father or from your superiors, but you will still sail through. Important thing to note is that you do take care of your family members, their health. Your mother as well as your father's health during this period is extremely crucial, especially your mother, as well as your spousal relationship if you are married. Now, talking about your overall health, I think it is going to improve. You are going to take special focus towards your well being in the second half of the month, because in the first half, you will realize that there is so much happening from an emotional, mental perspective that you will have to act upon it. And that realization is definitely going to come through. it's better that you realize watching this video and start working in that direction. Figure out something. Just taking normal walks, exercising, doing some sort of a sports is going to be extremely positive activity for you. Now, last but not the least, Ketu's presence into the sign of Virgo in your seventh house hasn't been one of the greatest situations, greatest positions, but now this Ketu, along with the seventh house, is getting so much of energy almost from all the planets. He's getting that aspect from Mars, Jupiter, four planets sitting in the ascendant, and at the last part of the month, you will also have Saturn. So there's a lot of energy that is going to be coming into this space, which means that somewhere or the other, spiritualism will be on the rise for you. You will have to see maybe a collective path of spiritualism with your partner as well. It is not advisable that you separate or distance yourself from your partners, because it can cause further turbulence. At at some point in time in May, you will find that the transit of Ketu will happen into your sixth house, whilst Rahu will move into your 12th. So things will definitely shift, but you can definitely anticipate a lot of action, a lot of momentum coming into play for the next 2.5 months. And this is going to be extremely critical. If you have enjoyed watching this video, guys, please smash on that like button and subscribe to the Astrology. Thank you. Om Namah Shivaya.